Good morning. We've got one more really good day before the weather sets in. Let's go shell some corn here this morning. It's just me and Phil. I'm just going to tackle some short rows and stuff that we've got on the east side of this next field and do that here this morning. And then I think we're going to go do some double crop beans in here this afternoon. A little frosty up here checking the oil. We're in the home stretch. Let's just get it done. It's going to get really cold on us this weekend. Not going to be fun for corn harvest. We're going to give things a little bit of time to warm up here as we slowly walk across the road. So this field across the road, there's 140 acres. There's no way we'll get it done today, even if we just stayed here and worked on it all day. But I'm going to pull out and do double crop beans later. So, however, there are some short rows on this east side. Here's the field. So it's this whole thing. We can work off these rows and probably these ones in front of the woods over there. We won't need a grain cart until we get into these really long rows. So I'm going to jump over there, do a few end rows and stuff. We brought a truck. There's some corn in the grain cart. We'll have to get that unloaded, but I need to get some room over here to be able to move stuff over to this side of the road first. So I'll go over here and do that. Good. Some of this is really good corn out here. And end rows obviously never are usually, but the rest of it is. This will be a fun one. All right, we got this little bit over here behind the house done. So there's a waterway right there that kind of cuts this side of this field off. It's almost like a little mini field attached to the bigger field. So we got that done. So now we got to do these end rows along the road straight in front of us here. And then we can work off in front of the woods over there. Well, looks like we're gonna have to go and unload trucks. For some reason, Phil decided to run the grain cart where I can make rounds rather than emptying trucks, and so now we're filling the cart up and everything is gonna be full, but it's just kind of sitting there on the end. I didn't really need to run a grain cart here. That was why we're working where we are. I just thought he would keep a hauling, but it's not what he did, so we'll stop and unload trucks. And it's about 11 o'clock. It'll be lunchtime then, and then I don't know if we'll come back and load stuff up again, or maybe I'll just go do those double crop beans. I don't know. The longer I wait to let them dry out, the better, so I don't have to be in any hurry to get them first thing in the morning, but we need to do it before it gets dark at 5:30. Well, we filled the grain cart up. It says there's 66,000 pounds on there. That's 1,100 bushels. That's pretty good. That's more than 1,100 bushels. I'll do some math. Anyway, we're going to go unload a truck. Phil took one here a few minutes ago, and so we'll get stuff emptied, come back over. All right, we got everything unloaded, and we are back over here. Raccoon damage right out in the middle. Can't just keep them along the trees. Anyway, we've got something a little bit unique to this field in here from when I planted it that I did not do anywhere else. I have a split planter situation. So if you look at our planting map here, it's not for very much of it, but you'll see those pink and purple stripes. That is where we had half of the planter to one variety, the other half to a different one. Although it wasn't actually a varietal difference, it was a seed treatment difference. This is our 10U97, where some of it had that Epivio or Epivio energy treatment, and some of it just had the standard Cruiser Max treatment, or maybe a Victa treatment. I'm not sure which one was on the standard stuff. Either way, I want to harvest them separate. And when you have a 24-row planter and an 8-row corn head, well, those match up. However, if we just started where we were supposed to on the edge of the field, every other pass is going to be a guess row, a split between, or not a guess row, a split where you got half of one variety, half of the other variety. And so since I didn't want to do that, I shifted over 4 rows. So now we do combine down the guess rows every now and then, the row between the planter passes, but it's the same variety. And that gives us 3 passes of one treatment, 3 passes of the other treatment. We're just gonna do that until we get over here to where it then turns brown. The brown is another variety, and then the pink is another variety on the top after that. So the pink one that's most of the field, that is 11V76. That's one of my favorite hybrids, really, really good corn. The brown is a new 110 day that I got, I think, 4 bags of to try. It was 10M87, 10M97, something like that. And then the pink and the purple are 10U97, which has been really good corn for us. And then, you know, the one's got a Pivio and the one does not. So this was one of my trial fields, I guess, if you will. Everything's been treated the same since planting, but we wanted to see what kind of differences we get, and it's a good opportunity to test a new hybrid on a small number of acres before I could potentially plant a lot more of it next year. All right, we have made it through the split planter trial. We have just 4 rows left, and so we need to get back onto our 4 rows so that we can use our auto steer, and then we're back on the even planter passes and everything. So it looks weird here, but we're gonna take 4 rows up, and right now you can't see it, but when we get up here where the variety changes, I'll show you how that matches up.
Well, because GoPros are terrible, the sound cut on this clip, so you can see the pink there, how we are harvesting those last 4 rows, except for here's where I noticed we're not taking 4 rows, we were actually taking 5 rows, so we'll jump over to keep our data as clean and even as we can, and keep going up this partial pass. It matches up there, the pink and the brown, different varieties.
We are over to the last pass of our, what's the brown background variety, the new one, 110 day. Overall, I'm not super impressed. We'll see what happens in the next pass here. It's our 11V that I love. So if it jumps significantly there, then yeah, we'll see on this 10M. We'll analyze stuff later, but it wasn't overly impressive. Although it was standing pretty good, just not a real impressive plant. It'll be fine. So I think we're only going to make about 1 more round, and we are up to the edge of the trees, and it's time to go combine some double crop beans. Okay, getting our stuff closed up. I thought about just dropping the head in the field here. The problem is that my stalk stompers, well, they're not really meant to bend quite like that steep to set this right on the ground. So we're going to take it back, put it on the header cart, and yeah, we need fuel anyway. We're down to blinking lights, so we'll run this back to the farm. We'll put fuel in it, and then we will go do our beans. They won't take real long. We got to take the head over there and take a truck over. Like I said, we're going to leave the cart here. I don't need to put the double crop beans through the cart because they're going to get hauled straight to town. We'll have a weight on them anyway. That won't matter. Well, we got the combine fueling up. We got the corn head unhooked. I'm going to drag the bean head over to the double crop field. We got lots of room there. We didn't plant the whole field, so we got lots of room to hook up and stuff. We don't have to worry about backing into the corner or anything like that. We'll just park it in the wheat stubble. Leave the head there. Let's drive down here and see what they look like. They're pretty short, but I think there are some beans on them. I mean, they look like beans. There are definitely beans out here. They're potted pretty well. Beans are crunchy, snappy. Cool. Crunched. They're not super dry. They might be 14 or 15. I don't know. I'm hoping for 20. They look like every bit of 20 bushel beans to me. Heck, those beans got some size to them. Maybe that late September rain helped these more than we thought. Heck yeah, that one crunched. Cool. They might be dry even. Well, let's go get the combine. All right, before we hook up our head, we got to clean off our feeder house, and we're going to switch our combine over. I didn't do any of that stuff yet. This stuff on top of this base plate will keep the head from attaching correctly, so we got to kick it off here. Shift the rotor. Shift the chopper. Put our chopper knives in. All the dirt to fall off. Okay, 2 hands. Like that. Sash shield. And then we got to move our deflector. Like that. Everything else is done from the cab. Every time you make that corn head to bean head transition and you go from 20 feet to 40 feet, you're like, oh my gosh, this thing is enormous. And it is. All right, we got to get a few settings changed around here. Make sure everything's going to run right. I'm sure that our cutter bar is not in great shape, but we've got 30 acres of double crop beans to run, so we're just going to deal with it. Let's see, where's our settings at? Seems reasonable. Concave's got to get closed. We can't have 27. We got to be at like, we're going to go 8. There's probably small beans. All right, what do you think? Are we going to get 20 bushel? That's what I'm hoping for. Well, let's go here and see what we get. I'm going to have a little trouble getting them in maybe because it's so small. The beans are short, but it says they're 40 bushel beans right here. We will take that all day. I don't know that they are, but you know, whatever. We'll get a weight on these, so we'll know exactly before we're done here. Well, double crop beans are notorious for being difficult to get clean. That side's not so bad, but there's a lot of pods in there. I'm tightening stuff up. I'm trying to make them better. We've slowed down a little bit. We'll do the best we can. I'm on kind of the last pass where the air seeder was clearly running out of seed here, so there's not a lot of beans right here. I'm gonna kill our average, but right now it says they're like 30 bushel. I don't know if I believe that, but well, that would be good. So, the combine sounds different without the corn head on it, and I can tell I've kind of been feeling it for the last couple of weeks that we've got a little bit of a vibration or something making some noise in the combine, and it's in the feeder house or the drive to the head because it only comes on when you turn the head on. It feels worse with the bean head on, especially when I lower it, and I don't know why. I wonder if we have a bearing going out on the upper feeder house idler's bearings or something on a pulley somewhere, something. I don't know. We're going to try and limp it through harvest because we're almost done, but we definitely have to tear into that and figure out what's making this noise this winter. Assuming, of course, we make it to winter and we finish harvest and it doesn't grenade itself between now and then. Well, they look good going into the truck. It says they're 12.4, so the moisture on them is good. They're dry. I just hope we're getting enough of the pods out that the people at the elevator don't complain too much. All they're going to do is say, don't come back. And we're only going to have one load anyway, so it doesn't matter. But they don't look that bad to me. Well, they're fairly consistent. They're a little worse on the high ground. They get a little better in the low ground. But we're still sitting at that 29 average. I don't know if that's accurate or not. It may be a little high. I don't know. The moisture seems pretty good at 12.5. So we'll see how many bushels we get when we haul them into town, and we'll know. But that's not so bad. Should we talk about the economics on the double crop beans a little bit? We've done this in the past, but we're here and I need something to talk about. So, obviously 30 bushel beans doesn't cut it when we're raising beans for beans, right? But these aren't just normal beans. These are double crop beans. We've already harvested a crop here. We've already paid for most of our expenses for the year, at least the fixed cost and the non-variable cost. And so, our expenses are a lot lower, and I've always said that that's kind of the key with double crop beans is to keep your expenses low. You got to control your cost. So we have seed cost into this field, and we planted these fairly thick, 220,000 plants per acre, about a unit and a half. Is that right? 140 plus 7. Yeah, about a unit and a half of beans per acre. We get a little bit of a discount on double crop beans, although not a lot. Let's just say our seed cost was somewhere around 60 to 70 bucks an acre. We'll use 70 just to be on the high side. Okay? So what other costs do we have into raising double crop beans that we wouldn't have if we didn't do it? Well, we had to plant them. So even if you figured a custom planting rate of, say, $20 an acre to plant the beans, which it does not cost us that, but we'll just use that number. So now we're up to 90. and we got to harvest them. And if you used a custom rate for harvesting, we'll say $40 an acre, which again, it doesn't cost that much. It shouldn't be that high. But that puts us up to $130 an acre into costs. What else? Well, we sprayed these, but we were going to spray them anyway, right? We sprayed all of our wheat stubble, so we just changed the timing a little bit. We didn't change... Hold on. Okay, so we've got seed, we've got the planting pass, we've got the harvest pass figured in. We're not going to count spraying because we would have used the chemicals and made the sprayer pass anyway, so that didn't add any cost to it. I did not add any extra fertilizer. I'm not going to add any extra fertilizer, but there is an argument to be made that taking the double crop beans off did pull some fertility out of the ground. That's true. For the point of this explanation, because I'm not adding anything extra because we did the double crop, I'm not going to figure any fertility costs in. Okay? That's really it. Like, we did not spray any insecticide, any fungicides, anything like that. Our costs are relatively low. So we're at $130 an acre in our cost. Let me pull up a calculator here. Applications, calculator, 130. We're going to divide that by 1070. I looked it up. That was the cash price of beans earlier today. It was almost $11 yesterday. Beans took a hit today. But they've been up overall lately. It's higher now than it was when we were harvesting first crop beans. So that's good. So that means that we need to get 12 bushels an acre in order to pay for our costs. And that means, you know, custom rates on the planting and the harvesting rates. And those are higher than our costs. So even at 10 bushels, we're breaking even. So we've got almost 30 bushel double crops. Let's just say we're high and we've got 25 bushel double crop beans here. Okay? Let's take 25 times 10.7 is $267 an acre. Minus our 130 in costs means we're netting $137 an acre on double crop beans. We don't have to figure any land cost in because we paid for the rent with the wheat crop, right? We harvested a wheat crop that paid the rent for the year. So 137 times, we only planted 30 acres of them. We made an extra $4,000, $4,125 roughly. It's not a windfall, it's not a huge profit, but it was worth the time and effort to do it. Well, we've almost made it to the end here. Down in the last round or two. And some of them have been decent. Nothing's been outstanding, but I'm happy. We're gonna have a 3/4 of the way full semi-load. Well, this is the third hopper load. It's halfway up the window. We're at 86%. I don't know that I can finish this. I probably could. I probably could. Should we test it? Should we try it? If I don't, we're gonna end up clearing the back. I'm gonna have to drive all the way over to the truck and unload. We're gonna try it. Well, there's the end of the double crop beans, and we can say we're officially done with soybeans for 2025. What a deal. Okay, the bean head can be cleaned up and put away. And we made it. What are we at? Oh, we're at 100%. The full light never went off, but the window's covered. Didn't fall out, so we're okay. Yeah, bean head we're done with can be cleaned up and put away. We got a little bit more work to do to it next summer before wheat harvest. We got a bunch of rebuilding to do on the cutter bar, which is normal. We do that every year. What else? Yeah, I'm gonna drop the head here, run the combine back home, and then we'll come back and get the truck here, haul them into town, and then hopefully we'll get back to doing some corn tonight, but it's gonna be a little while before we make it over there. Probably be dark. Well, the combine says they made 29.96. That's 30 bushel. It says there is 834 bushels on the truck. I don't know if there is quite that much, but we'll haul them in. We'll find out. Well, just dropped Phil off. He is going to take that load of beans into the elevator, and we'll see how many bushels we end up with there. I'm going to pull the bean head home, park it out of the way. We're going to get the combine switched back over to get the corn head hooked back up, and probably need to wait for him to get back before we go over to the field because we're going to need to run the grain cart, so is what it is. It'll be fine. I've got a little bit of time while we wait for Phil to haul that load in. It'll take him roughly an hour to make the round trip. Maybe not quite. So we got to get the combine hooked up and the head hooked back up and get it converted back over. But there is rain coming tonight or tomorrow morning. I left the fertilizer spreader sitting out the other day when we spread that gypsum. I'm going to go ahead and put it in, but I think I'm going to load up a full load of gypsum on it, and then we're going to back that into the fertilizer barn. Just get it under cover. I really need to spend a whole day or 2 days just spreading fertilizer, getting that pile used up, but it's more important to finish harvest than it is to spread the fertilizer, but they kind of both need to be happening, and just, we'll get there. It's not that big a deal. We've only got a few more days of harvest left, so we'll be fine, but we're gonna put it in for the night. All right, there's that. We've still got a mountain of potash to spread as well. We're gonna get there soon. I think I still need to buy one more load of MAP as well. Spreader load, partial spreader load, not a semi-load. But yeah, that's the expensive fertilizer. The phosphate is just outrageously expensive right now. Dang it! So I was driving over here. Phil's bringing a truck. I'm driving down this dirt road, just going slow, minding my business. And a deer come running out, and I smoked him. Smoked him. Did it damage anything? I don't see any damage, but it's hard to tell. I can't believe there wouldn't be. I mean, I hit him hard, but he did run off. That's incredible. No damage from that. I'll look at it in the light at home, but seems okay. Turn the tractor lights on so I can see. Well, there we got some fur. This might be bent down a little bit. We got more fur all the way there. It was a square hit, so I hit him pretty solid. You can see the scratch marks here and over here. Yeah, lots of fur there. That's incredible. Pushed in my grill a little bit. He spit on my truck right there. Ah, it popped this. We're not gonna worry too much about that, are we? Good thing it's an old truck with... Yeah, it definitely bent the bumper down. That's what it did. See that big gap there? Well, shoot. Well, that's loose. Okay, we'll reevaluate, but I think it's going to be okay. It's dark. 6 o'clock. Anyway, let's get in the combine and go to shell some corn. Going to a field in the dark. That's kind of rare. Okay, we are back in the combine. We've got to go past the trees here. We're in the long rows now, so we got some end rows to do in the back. Phil should be coming with the grain cart behind me here shortly. We won't be able to make rounds now. These will be half-mile long rows, so yeah, we'll have to run a cart. That's okay. We probably won't get a lot done here tonight. We'll fill the 3 trucks, or the 2 trucks and the grain cart, and that might be it for tonight. I don't know. We'll see. It's almost 6:30, so by the time we get that done, we're looking at probably close to 8 o'clock, and I'm guessing we won't come back after that. We got a chopper speed warning. I wonder if it popped out of gear. Go check it. Turn my light on here. There we go. Yeah, sure did. That's got to be in like that. Cranking. We're all plugged up in here, are we? Quite a bit there, but now it's okay. This should clear. Got our end rows done in the back there, at least for a while, so got a little bit to clean up by the woods over here. My auto steer decided to quit working sometime between finishing the double crop beans and starting back into this field. I don't know why. But I got a hand drive, and well, that's no fun. It's all right. For whatever reason, the little blue pie there has got two pie pieces. Every time I hit it, it goes on and comes right back off, and it says there's a steering controller fault, but it won't let me look up the fault. So we're gonna try battery disconnect after we're done here. I can steer for an hour, it'll be okay. All right, we have just about got everything filled up. The trucks are full, the cart has got quite a bit on it. How much is on it? We can tell that. 43,000 pounds. So we'll finish this round. We almost quit it to the last one, but I didn't want to leave these 8 rows by themselves, because if we don't come back tonight, which we probably won't, they would be flat. If we get a storm, get some rain on it tomorrow, when you have a section that is isolated by itself and there's no corn next to it to kind of block the wind, it'll just go down, and you'll have down corn for these 8 rows. So well, we're just gonna clean that one up. I can pretty well get it on the grain cart anyway, so auto steer's still not working. That's all right. So we'll take these back and get them unloaded. It'll be probably 9 o'clock by then, and we'll see from there whether we want to keep going or call it a night. Probably gonna call it a night, let's be honest. This is where machine sync shines. Get the cart full. I'm gonna hold the head one more time. We're gonna get the back of the cart full. Okay, now we're gonna start moving it forward. Moving forward. Moving forward. Now we're empty, but we're just gonna let the auger run here for a minute. Forward. What we got on there now? 62,000. It's all gonna fit. We're gonna top it off though. About it. One more move. That's it. He's full. 65,120 it says. We're on the go. That wasn't too bad, was it? All right. Decide whether I got enough in the grain tank to not be able to fold the cover down or not. I think we're okay. Fully closed, it made it, so cool. Well, we ended up with 51 acres done in this field, plus our 27 acres of double crop beans. If we're doing the switch over in the middle of the day, that's not too bad. Yeah, that's closed up good. We'll empty trucks and come get the cart empty and then roll the tarp on it. I'm gonna shovel this red dog drifts out from the doors so we don't have to step through them. The final tally on our double crop beans is in 787 bushels. Right there, 787. They were 1302 moisture, and they shrunk them 3.9 bushels for that, which is ridiculous. 57 test weight, 15 FM. That'll work. 787 divided by 27 acres is 29.14 something bushels per acre. That's a win. Just got the grain cart unloaded. Let's see if we can see anything in the road where I hit that deer a little while ago. I don't think that's it. Oh, right up there. See those scuff marks right there? That's where he went flying for sure. Right there down on the in front of us. Ah. He ended up in the ditch and then took off. We got 2 lights on the wet bin, so there's a little bit in there. We haven't been running the dryer this afternoon. We ran it a little bit this morning and then shut it off because we were doing those beans and we were not really here. So he wants to dry into the overhead so we can haul dry corn in tomorrow. If we're not shelling. Once again, thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great night. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. We had a good productive day. We are down to, let's see, we did 51 acres in that field of 140, so there's 89 to go. 90 acres, we'll call it. 90 plus 46 would be 136 plus 78. 6 and 8 is a 4. 136 plus 8, 13 plus 8 is 21, so 210 acres. 214 acres. Something like that. We're close. We probably need 3 days to finish up. See what the weather does tonight, and we'll go from there. So, yeah, we may or may not make a video tomorrow. If it's raining in the morning and I'm not doing anything fun and exciting, I'm not going to make a video. I do have something maybe going on in the afternoon if we're not busy because it's raining, so we'll see. Anyway, we'll see you sometime.